All right, let's get a little more intense this time. I'm going to give you some ideas what you can do with if you have leftover money and you just don't know what to do with it, or if you came up short on your budget. I'll give you some ways to maybe figure out how you can get some more money out of this. But let's start with those of you who have extra money. Like for instance, in my budget here, I got $217 that I just kind of like I could just throw somewhere, and I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to just go, oh, I'll just put $50 in my subscriptions because I have extra money. Don't waste money. Let's do something good with this. You could always throw it in your e-fund, your Roth IRA. You could give some away. That'd be awesome. I mean, you decide where to put it, but here's an idea for you. If you rented in this budget, which most of you probably did, if you rented in this, maybe take that $217 that I have freed up and save for a down payment because I would probably like to buy a house someday. And I know 217 sounds like a lot, but it actually isn't as much as you think. Let's say I do 217, all of it, towards the down payment of a house. So I'm putting it in a savings account or whatever for a few years. Well, $217 times, let's say you rent for 3 long years, that only comes out $7,812. I shouldn't say only because that's great. You got $7,800 you didn't have before. But that's not a ton for a down payment on a house. I mean, when I buy $150,000 home, I would like to have $40,000 for a down payment on it, not just seven. So I'm gonna hit this a little more intense. So and this will help those of you who maybe undershot your budget. You ran out of money before you ran out of items that needed filled. So those of you who rented with, or I'm sorry, by yourself, maybe change your mind and rent with a roommate. That's one of the things I wanted you to see in this project is renting with a roommate can give you a lot of room to save a lot of money early on in your career. So I'm going to go back and rent with a roommate. Now, if I rent with a roommate, it doesn't quite cut the rent in half because I have to get a little bigger place. I got to have 2 bedrooms instead of one. Okay. So I'm going ahead and putting my rent at $350. That's half the rent. And then I'm going to go ahead and this is the beauty of renting with a roommate. Cut all these utilities, except the cell phone, in half because you get to split them. So I'm going to go ahead and make this 40, 35, 27. Can't cut the cell phone down, internet in half, and Netflix in half. Now I've got another $450 freed up that I could put towards the down payment on this house. Now I can save a big chunk of money and have a ton for a down payment. So I'm going to go ahead and put this at around, let's go 650 for my saving for my down payment. And that other 17, I'm going to have some fun with it. There we go. Put some fun money there. So I'm going to do 650 a month. All right, now 650 a month for 36 months. Oh, I did something wrong there. Sorry. I did 350. Let me try hitting 6 there. All right, I have $23,400. Now I'm getting somewhere. Now I'm excited about, in 3 years I'll be ready to get this house. And that's me alone. Remember, this is you living single in this budget. Okay? You go ahead and, lock arms with a fiance and you go ahead and start working together that last they're renting, you're renting, and you both start putting a plan together of you try to save 20 grand in the next 2 years and I'll try to save 20 grand in the next 2 years. Bam, then you got your 40 grand for a down payment. So just trying to give you some ideas here. Here's one thing I don't want you to do. Let's say you have a tighter budget and you only made 2,000 for the month. What I don't want you to do if you had, and I'm ruining my spreadsheet here, don't you do this, but let's say you had like $50 left. I don't want you to put $50 right here because that's like shooting a BB gun at the sun. You're not going to get anywhere with that. I mean, $50 a month times 3 years of renting only gave you $1,800. That's not enough to really impact your down payment. I would rather you take that $50 that you have and do something like, let's do an extra car payment and pay this car off early. Okay. Because now I'm aiming to get some debt out of my life. I can't build a huge e-fund here, but at least I can cut this down. Okay. So there's some ideas for you. I want you to go ahead, just play with this budget today. Get it exactly where you want it. Do not turn it in yet because tomorrow